Hey guys, I wanted to do something fun today, so let's do it. I've seen it around that folks are doing this thing called the accent tag, and I'm very intrigued by different accents. I'm very interested in the different ways um, that people speak, the different dialects, different accents throughout the United States, things like that. So let's let's give this a try. First, we have a handful of questions that one answers, and then after that, there is a series of words um, that the creator of the this accent tag has asked people to pronounce. So, first question: what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? Um, I would call that TPing the house. Um, Second question: what is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? Now, I don't have a lot of exposure to these, but I would probably call that a potato bug. Um, what is the bubbly carbonated drink called? I would call it soda. Where I live, people call it pop. I think that that's ridiculous. Um, if I were to call it anything, it would be soda, or if it's a dark beverage, a cola. I'm in the minority here with the cola thing. What do you call gym shoes? I would call those tennies or tennis shoes. Um, what do you say to address a group of people? I have, no matter where I've lived, always called a group of people y'all. Y apostrophe ALL. What do you call the kind of spider or spider like creature that has an oval shaped body and extremely long legs? Those are daddy long legs. What do you call your grandparents? Okay, I'm kind of a weirdo here. Um, I have three living grandparents. The first set I would call Gram and Gramps or Grampy. The second, I would call her Coco, but that's my own special nickname. The rest of the cousins I have call her either Nani or Grandma. Um, what do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? Uh, Previously, when I lived in the South, people would call them buggies or carts. I would just say a cart or shopping cart. What do you call it when it rain? What do you call it when rain falls when the sun is shining? I would call that a sun shower. What is the thing you changed the TV channel with? Now, this is a little bit tricky because while I understand it's called a remote, and I will, on occasion, um, I will on occasion call it a remote. I also call it a clicker. Where is the clicker? And I don't know where that comes from, but here we are. Um, Moving on. Here's a list of words that I am to say. First one. Um, this one can be said two different ways: aunt or aunt. And I say it interchangeably, and here's why. Um, Aunt is when I'm referring to a person. So I would say, my aunt is coming to see me. If I'm referring to a person by name, then I would say aunt. So I would say, my Aunt Michelle is coming, my Aunt Joe is coming. Um, Hello, Aunt Joe, how are you doing today? Are you having a good day? Things like that. Next word is roof. I feel a little weird saying it that way. I would normally say it roof. Next one is the root, Route. So root 5, I understand that many people say root. I've always said root. Wash. In the older folk in my hometown, my home village, the older folk would say wash. So for a while I did pick that up, but I do say wash. Oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, sure, data, ruin, crayon, Narlands, pecan. Pecan, I would say if it's like a pecan sandy, to me that's just what it's called. It's not pecan sandy. If I'm talking about the individual pecans by themselves, I would say pecan. Both, again, probably or probably. Spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, pajamas or jammy jams, cots, naturally, aluminum, and envelope. I find it really interesting that these are the words that are provided to you to pronounce. Because honestly, I'm struggling to imagine other ways to pronounce a lot of them, like fire. Really? I don't know. So for better understanding, I've lived in several places. I've lived in both the North and the South. I've lived in Central Florida for about 15 years. I've also lived in Central New York and Western New York for a combination of nearly 20 years. Nearly. So I'm not going to tell you where I live right now. But I've lived in those 3 places for my whole life. And I've picked up, I feel, some of the colloquialisms of the South and some of the behaviors of the South, I think. So I feel like, well, I don't think I have an accent. Some words, certain words, like go out to the car or yesterday. I understand that they sound funny to some folks, and maybe that means that I do have an accent. I tell you what, when I get into a conversation with somebody who is either from New York City or from the South, anywhere in the South, really, I can fall real easily into their accents. So I can be a little bit of a chameleon. But, and I do say things like bless your heart and all that stuff. So it's really interesting to listen to folks and to figure out exactly where they're from. I would encourage y'all to do these accent tags, and I can provide the link in the description. Just because I'm curious, and just because it's fun to me to see where y'all are from, and the different accents that y'all have. So yeah, feel free to do this accent tag and, link it to me. Let me see your videos, and let's share our accents with each other. All right, guys, have a good weekend.